Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about how to do damage in Warframe. Now, if you're like me and when you started this game you had no idea how to do that, we're just going to go ahead and get into it and show you how you actually end up doing damage. So, first things first, we're going to talk about status weapons versus critical weapons. So, we got the Prisma Gorgon here, unranked. Go ahead and look in the upgrade tree. Basically, it's real simple. Which number is bigger? The critical chance or the status chance? Now, your critical chance is going to basically do what it says. Every hit you fire has a chance to be a critical. So, as you can see, this one's higher here. So I went ahead and if we look at config A I've made, I put most of my things into it being a critical weapon. Now, critical weapons are going to be better for doing just that. Although you will have to mod for two different types. You will have to mod for the chance and then the damage. The multiplier multiplies your damage, well, by that multiplier. So there you go, makes it a lot higher. It's one way to do damage. Now, the other way is if we take a look at a status weapon instead. Find one real quick. Here, I made this one a status one. There we go, 104% status chance. Now, don't worry about all these mods you see right here. You probably don't have them if you're as new as I was. So the trick with it is you're just going to want to get that status number up. Doesn't matter what mod you throw in. The mods that really help for status, if we take a look here, so these are in Matarai. Yes, so things like High Voltage, Malignant Force, Prime Rounds, and of course the Fire one that isn't showing up right now. High Rounds, there we go. You want to put these on here. As you can see, each time you put that on there, it goes up, and you get a new status type. So it works kind of doubly, if that makes any sense. Now the big thing that's going to make a status weapon actually work, as opposed to a critical weapon, is... let's see if I can't find that mod. There, Aptitude. You're going to want this mod. Basically what this does for you is every status effect on an enemy will increase your damage by a percentage. 40% when you have it maxed out. So this is necessary for almost every single status build. Now, I mostly like to run Radiation and Viral on my weapons, just because those two status effects I think are pretty good for general use. Yeah. Now this is the other thing, Arcanes. You'll get into this a lot later into the game. The really useful Arcanes you're going to want as you go further into the game. Really going to want Primary Merciless. This is very important. There's a similar thing to that Aptitude mod I showed you earlier. Basically, it's going to up your damage on kills too. So you're going to be working with this and with this. As you can see, the number is going to get pretty big. Now, with a certain weapon like the Fenmore, which is probably one of the better weapons in the game, the thing you're really going to want to look out for... oh, almost forgot. Thank you, little galvanized chamber sitting in the corner there. Basically, this is going to up it even more. So you slap galvanized chamber into there, which gives you more multi-shot on kill. Now what multi-shot does is, it doesn't take away from anything in your magazine. It's imagine if your bullet magically multiplied for no reason. It's multi-shot. So it's just going to up your damage even more. So as you can see, you've got three different things working together to get your damage even higher. Great. Now, what I've always run into is that getting your damage up in the first place is a little bit of a difficulty. Because your teammates are just going to be wiping things left and right. So it's going to be hard to get a kill to get any of these things running. That's where Serration runs in. Now a lot of people say don't do this. I do it anyways, because it's just how I like to play with my weapons in this game. It's going to make it easier to get your numbers to ramp up faster. You're going to get diminishing returns as you hit the ceiling for the damage, but it's going to help you get there faster, which I think, in my opinion, makes it worth it to throw on here. Now, because I've completely forgotten what I've put on this build, we're going to go back to config A. Yep, I went ahead and put fire rate on this because the Fenmore, when you activate its incarnate form, after getting a lot of headshots, it's going to go ahead and make it, shoot faster in its automatic form. So, yeah, that's how you do a status weapon. Alright. And honestly, when you get things, especially when you're playing a Warframe like Lavos, which I am playing, and the status chance is guaranteed, a good way to think of your loadout in this game jump into a different topic. Honestly, it's along the lines of just take a look at it, think about this as an entire set. I'll go this from my master ranking to my actual set. Think about how Lavos likes to play. Lavos is Condition Overload the Warframe, because his 4th ability deals more damage depending on each element afflicting an enemy. So you want to have a ton of elements afflicting your enemies when you hit them. The Cedo does this wonderfully because, with its unique trait, fires a glaive that has, it says it's 100, it will apply a status effect. 90 is basically 100. It does all of these damage types, radiation, toxin, blast, to enemies, as well as randomly applying another one. So basically you're going to end up doing a lot of status chance with your alt fire. So what I've done with this weapon is it's a hybrid. It's a critical chance and a status, but I'm not putting anything in it to add the status, because I don't need to. It's going to get status whether I like it or not with my glaive fire. So, point being, I put a lot into the critical chance and critical multiplier, because those are some things that could be better and are pretty good on this. 72, not half bad. So, and of course you've got the same mod on here. This is probably the best mod for this weapon because it works with the unique trait, which you do 60% more damage for each status effect, and this does 80%, 40%, so 100% more damage. Pretty neat. And it stacks up to 2 times, so it's even over 100. Perfect. Big number, we're happy. Yes, so that's basically how you'd use it. And the reason why that works well with Lavos is he wants to hit people with his 4 when they're affected by a ton of status effects. And don't feel like you need to play Lavos. Almost every frame, let me rephrase, every frame in this game can be viable at endgame. I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna throw that one out there. I'm gonna get crucified for it by our beautiful, beautiful invisibility people up at level cap in Tuval Commons, but you know what? That's how they like to play. You should play the game how you want to play the game, and if that means bringing a Mark 1 Breton to level cap, fuck it, bro. Go for it. You can do it. So in conclusion, I mean, what else do I have to say? That's how you do status frames, that's how you do status effects, and that's why status effects are pretty good overall. Critical, you know, pretty good as well. Now, the one weapon side that doesn't really benefit from Condition Overload weapon mods, I know it sounded like I was about to end it there. Have fun editing that one out later. Or I might just not and just leave this as some crazy rant. Be authentic. We'll see. Is arc guns. Arc guns do not have a, you know, oh, you have 500 status effects? Oh, it's going to do this much damage. Right? They don't have that. So what I always do with my arc guns is I like to throw on, except when I don't, when I'm a big liar and don't talk about that. Ideally, if they had a Condition Overload mod, it'd make them a lot more viable, but they don't. But they have big damage. The moment they get that, they're going to be a lot better. This is mostly just a primer. I treat this arc gun like a primer. Which, if you don't know, let me get some terminology lore for you. What primer means is to put a lot of status effects onto an enemy, so that a weapon that does, which used to be only melee weapons, ignore that, well, excuse me, that way your melee would do more damage because there would be more status effects affecting them. So, basically, that's what primer means, is that you're getting it ready to do damage to something else. And that's basically how I treat this. But because Lavos has his 4, that's what I use as the, I guess the finisher. If you're priming something, then you finish it. So yeah, there you go. That's the basics on basically how to do damage, you know. All of either about your critical chance or your status chance at the end of the day, and whichever number's bigger, bump it up. Alrighty. That'll be all, everybody. Have a great day.